Hi there, I'm Tiffany Ricks from HacWare. HacWare mines the internet for phishing attacks. This next generation technology trains your users on how to identify phishing attacks and avoid them. We've picked out the top 8 phishing attacks from this quarter. We're going to recap in detail what they are and how to avoid them. This video is going to show you phishing attacks that range from COVID-19 scams to social media scams and the delivery scams. So I want you to check out the video, watch and learn. For our UK users, bad actors are impersonating the health and safety executive. For our US-based users and abroad, just pay attention to the contents because bad actors will reuse this information. So what's happening here is they're acting as if they want to come and check your facility to make sure it is COVID ready and it is safe. They will put urgent speech in the message to get the user to move fast and not pay attention. So they put this date in here, to try to get the user to say, okay, I need to get our facility ready by this date. And what are the things that we need to do to get ready? Oh, they give you this link here. And they also specify that it's a legal requirement to review these documents and have everything done before the deadline. The bad thing about this is it's a bad actor. So all they want is the user to click on that link and they will expose that device to malware. The next phishing attack is a CEO impersonation scam. The bad actor is acting as if they're the CEO and helping the employee understand how serious the organization is taking COVID. They want the employee to click on this letter to read what they're doing to make the workplace safe. This is a phishing scam. And I can tell you that this really does work. This week in California, a bad actor sent an employee a phishing email. They clicked on the link displayed a page for them to put in their username and password. The employee unknowingly did this, and the bad actor had access to their login for 24 hours. Now, what's really scary is they had access to California resident information and property information. And so this is a breach that started with a phishing email, and that's how many phishing attacks happen. Actually, 90% of cybersecurity breaches start through phishing. And so education is paramount to combat this. We see that bad actors are impersonating Instagram, and they are targeting users and saying that they're sending emails, they're sending text messages saying that the user has violated their content or their copyright infringement policy with their last post, and they want to have the user click on a link so they can go in and click that link again. They're going to be exposing that device, that computer, to a malware or a ransomware attack. And I know you may be thinking, well, our users shouldn't be on Instagram, so this isn't a problem. Well, I want you to be aware that, well, the first thing is if there's anyone in the organization that's doing marketing, most likely they are marketing on Instagram. And so they could be susceptible to this type of attack. But also, we're in this browser to do business work as well as to do personal work, personal entertainment. And so they're sharing these devices, they're sharing these browsers, and it could cause a malware outbreak. So again, educate your end users about social media behavior, about how to protect privacy, about how to avoid this type of attack. Um, We've seen phishing attacks that are targeting vaccine and people wanting to get access to it. We've seen phishing attacks where the threat actors are impersonating as if they're coming from an organization that's distributing these vaccines. Here is a phishing email that the product has recovered. Here you'll see that this is an email. They're telling the end user that they have been selected to get the vaccine. This is typically targeting users in the UK, but we also have seen similar messages targeting US users. But the goal with this phishing attack is they're trying to get users to click on the vaccination now button. And once they click on that, they expose their organization to malware and a potential ransomware attack. So I want you to proactively reach out to your clients about this type of phishing attack and let them know that there are threat actors trying to benefit off of this immediate need that people have and want, and let them know to validate if this message is a real message or a fake message is to look at the email domain where it came from. Here you can see this message is coming from a fraudulent domain. It's not from the National Health Service. You could also see that they are trying to get the user to click on the link. So ask your users before they click on any links to hover, pause, and make sure that this domain is a valid National Health Service domain or a domain for the organization that they're impersonating. Bad actors are impersonating the DMV. And what they're doing is, again, they're creating urgency in these messages because they're saying if the user does not open up and verify their identity, then they're going to put restrictions on the driver's license. And so they want the user to click on this link. And what makes this more sophisticated is they're spoofing a domain that is a New York domain. We've been in touch with their authorities, and one of the things I want you to realize, the small businesses that are out there and the local governments that are out there, make sure that you set your DMARC subdomain policies to avoid things like this from happening. And we have released an article on our blog on how to set your subdomain policies to avoid bad actors from using them in phishing attacks. So you set your subdomain policy. You can also check your domain to make sure that it does have the correct configuration settings set. And also test it by putting in a fake subdomain, and it should show that you passed when you configure your domain. So go to HacWare.com, go to our blog, and then you should see a blog that talks about DMARC for businesses. So has to do with threat actors impersonating security teams and IT teams. They are creating urgency in these emails by sending a message saying, thank you for the renewal, and this was the renewal amount. We see this happening where they're impersonating Norton Security as well as impersonating Geek Squad. And I used to work at Geek Squad back in college. And so, that's a little tidbit about me. But back to why we're here, they're impersonating these trusted authorities, and they're trying to get your users to fall for these attacks. You can see the domain is not from Geek Squad. Educate your users on how to identify phishing attacks and the attacks that are happening today. The second phishing attack that we see happening this week is bad actors are impersonating Microsoft, and they are again trying to lure IT professionals. They're focused on possibly managed service providers, someone that's managing the email, and for an organization, they want to try to trick you into clicking on that link. They're saying. Another phishing threat we've seen, you see a lot of UPS delivery types of phishing attacks. This one is an interesting one where it is saying that the user could not be found. They tried to deliver, they couldn't, they want to reschedule, click on the link. That's going to put a malware or some type of malicious software onto their machine. And then we're seeing threat actors impersonating the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where they are sending these emails saying they'll give the target a donation. All they have to do is reply back with the important personal information. No way. We want to keep you up to date to avoid that.